Hello, all my Story Knights. This is my review for Stellar #1 from Image Comics. This is a interesting little book. It came out this week, and I wasn't gonna cover it originally just because it didn't really draw to me or anything. But I decided to check it out on a whim, and it's interesting. I don't know how I really feel about it yet. Actually, it's kind of a lot to take in. It's essentially the story of this woman who was kind of like artificially made as a weapon for this galactic war that's been going on, and she was made with a few other people. They're like there's like this. I think there's like, well, they show like 4 or 5 of them. There might be more, and they're basically like superpowered super soldiers. They were created to end this war, and they apparently did it. They apparently succeeded in the end of the war, and this issue picks up, with her, with Stellar, as this kind of like nomadic, traveling bounty hunter that's trying to make ends meet, in this war-torn world that she helped make that way. And it's kind of a journey of self-discovery. The bulk of the issue evolves around her lugging around this alien that's a bounty that he's been accused of a bunch of murders, or I think it was like one act of murder, one act of treason, and like 20 acts of Grand Theft Rocket Mobile, or whatever they say. And basically, she's bringing them to this station to get her money or whatever. And what's really cool about it is you see all this scenery around them, like all these destroyed statues. You see there's a dead astronaut person or something inside of a exosuit. His skeletons is there. Later on, you see there's little creatures living inside the statues, looking for shelter. People scavenging around her. It's very, very. The world around her is very, very lived in. It's very war torn. You definitely get a feeling of everything that's happened. And the art is amazing in this book. That's one thing I will say is this a great art in this book. The alien guy, he's very much a kind of comical relief, kind of sarcastic character. He's that character that's always saying stuff, even though he probably shouldn't be saying it, because he is tied up, and she does have the power to kill him at any moment. And he just he keeps saying stupid stuff. It's an interesting character, though. And throughout the course of the issue, Stellar keeps, starting to open up more and more to the guy and explaining some more of her backstory while she's bringing him to be executed. But eventually, they get to the station and they won't take him because the government that sanctioned his bounty has been tore down and is no longer existing. So he has no bounty on him anymore. It's kind of funny. It just kind of goes to show how unstable the world is now after this war has been over, and how much the war has affected what's left of the world around them. The book does split back and forth between flashbacks of the actual war and her killing people and being a mindless killing machine, until where she's at now, where she's kind of like a liberator, because you find out that she's been protecting this one village that she was supposed to destroy, and she's kept it hidden, and she's kind of like their savior. She comes and brings them supplies and stuff every so often. It's like a town of mostly priests and monasteries, or something like that. And it's overall the issue's interesting, but it just, and the art's amazing. The art's great. That's what really drew me into it, the detail and the amount of detail of the art itself. But I just would have really liked a little bit more context of what's going on. I would have liked to have the issue be a little bit more easier to understand, because it does feel kind of complicated trying to piece together the non-linear storytelling here. And there wasn't a whole lot of like characterization to grab onto. I felt like I really just didn't care about these characters by the time I finished the story. I cared more about the environment around them than anything. But it is just the first issue. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully they put more detail into the actual characterizations and the character stories, because this is a very rich world that you could probably do a lot with, and the art is good enough to really draw out a lot of cool ideas. I just hope they get around to it before the book doesn't make it or whatever, because first issue was okay, but it wasn't really like a huge buy for me. So I don't know if I can really recommend this book, but it's definitely got potential. Definitely has potential.